Math lesson number 8. Factoring perfect square trinomial. When we square a binomial, the product is called a perfect square trinomial. So let's say, for example, that the binomial is x plus 6. So this is a binomial because it has two terms. So x plus 6 is just equal to x plus 6 times x plus 6, which is equal to, using FOIL method, we have x squared, that's x times x, first, and then outer x times 6, 6x, and then 6 times x, 6x again, and then 6 times 6, 6 squared. Now simplifying this, we have x squared plus 12x plus 36. This is a perfect square trinomial. Now how do we know if a polynomial is a perfect square trinomial? Let's start with x squared minus 10x plus 25. So it has three terms, therefore it is a trinomial. Now, the answer here is yes, it is a perfect square trinomial. Why? Because x squared and 25 are squares of x and negative 5 respectively. So if we square x here, that's x squared. If we square negative 5, that's 25. And negative 10x is twice the product of x and negative 5. So we have x times negative 5, that's negative 5x. Twice of that, that's negative 10x. So that's the rule. Therefore, x squared minus 10x plus 25 is a perfect square trinomial. Next, we have x squared plus 4x plus 4. So this is a perfect square trinomial. The answer is yes. Because x squared and 4, the first and the last terms, are squares of x and 2. So x squared is a square of x, 4 is a square of 2, respectively. And 4x is twice the product of x and 2. So that's the rule. We need to multiply x and 2, x times 2, and then you twice that. You multiply that by 2. So 2 times x times 2 is 4x. And that's the middle term. Therefore, x squared plus 4x plus 4 is a perfect square trinomial. Number 3, we have 9x squared plus 24xy plus 16y squared. Again, this is a perfect square trinomial. Because 9x squared and 16y squared are squares of 3x. So take a look at the first term, 9x squared, that is a square of 3x. The last term, 16y squared, is a square of 4y. So that's the first thing that you need to consider. And 24xy is twice the product of 3x and 4y. So 3x times 4y is 12xy times 2, we have 24xy. So 9x squared plus 24xy plus 16y squared is a perfect square trinomial. Number 4, 25x squared minus 10x plus 4. This is not a perfect square trinomial. Although, as you can see, 25x squared is a square of 5x. 4 is a square of negative 2. But negative 10x is not twice the product of 5x and negative 2. 5x and negative 2, the product of that is negative 10x already. So multiplying that by 2, so the middle term should be negative 20x for this polynomial to be considered as perfect square trinomial. So 25x squared minus 10x plus 4 is not a perfect square trinomial. Next, number 5, we have x squared plus 20xy minus 100y squared. Again, this is not a perfect square trinomial. As you can see in the last term, negative 100y squared is not a perfect square trinomial. We cannot have a perfect square wherein the value is negative. So you cannot have a negative perfect square. It should be positive. So here is the general form of factoring perfect square trinomial. So a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, that is a plus b squared, or a plus b times a plus b. A squared minus 2ab plus b squared is equal to a minus b squared, or a minus b times a minus b. So take a look at the sign of the middle term. If it is positive, this one is also positive. If this one is negative, this is also negative. Let's have an example. Number 1. Factor x squared minus 6x plus 9. So first, we need to change this into like this. X squared minus 2 times x times 3 plus 3 squared, wherein a there is equal to x, b is equal to 3. Now, plugging in a minus b, we have x minus 3 squared, or x minus 3 times x minus 3. It's 4x plus 1. So 4x squared, that is 2x quantity squared. 4x is 2 times 2x, because this 2x came from the first term, 2x. So that's 2 times 2x. And then in order to get 4x, we need to multiply this by 1. So 2 times 2x times 1. Now this 1 here will be squared also, so that's 1 squared. Now simplifying this, we have 2x, this one, plus 1, the last term 1. So 2x plus 1 quantity squared, or 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1. Number 3, 25x squared minus 10xy plus y squared. So we need to factor this. So again, 25x squared, that is 5x squared. And then the middle term, negative 10xy, is 2. This one is 5x, so 5x times y. So this y will be used here in the last term, y squared. Okay, so again, simplifying that, we have 5x. Since this is minus, this is also minus. And then the last term, y. So 5x minus y quantity squared, or 5x minus y times 5x minus y. So the middle term is the product of the first 5x and the last y times 2. So 5x times y is 5xy times 2 is 10xy. Factor polynomial number 4. So we have 9x squared plus 24x plus 16. So this is a perfect square trinomial. First, 9x squared is 3x quantity squared. And then 2 times 3x, that is 6x. Now in order to get 24x, we need to multiply that by 4. So 2 times 3x times 4. Now this 4 will be used in the last term, 4 squared. Now simplifying this, we have the first term 3x, and the last term 4. So 3x plus 4 squared, or 3x plus 4 times 3x plus 4. Next, number 5, 36x raised to the 4th power minus 60x squared y plus 25y squared. So here in this example, we need to consider first the first term. 36x raised to the 4th is 6x squared. Take note, 6 squared is 36, x squared is x raised to the 4th, or x raised to 4. Now, again, this is minus, so this is minus, so 2 times 6x squared. Now, in order to get 60x squared y, we need to multiply this by 5y. So 2 times 6x squared y times 5y is equal to 60x squared y. Now, this 5y will be used in the last term, 5y squared, in order to get 25y squared. Now, simplifying this, we have the first term 6x squared, the last term 5y, and the minus. So 6x squared minus 5y squared, or 6x squared minus 5y times 6x squared minus 5y is the factored form of trinomial number 5. Now let's have more examples. Number 6, 4x squared minus 40xy plus 100y squared. Now in this case, we don't need to consider first the perfect square trinomial, but the common monomial factor. So the common monomial factor here is 4. Now after getting 4, extracting 4, what is left is x squared minus 10xy plus 25y squared. Now this time, this is already a perfect square trinomial. So 4x squared, that's x squared, and then 2 times this x, 2x. Now in order to get 10xy, we need to multiply this by 5y. So 2x times 5y plus this 5y will be used, 5y squared, in order to get 25y squared. Now simplifying that, we have again the 4, and then the first term x, 5y, and then the minus sign, minus. So 4 times x minus 5y squared, or 4 times x minus 5y times x minus 5y. That's the factored form of number 6. Number 7, ax squared minus 6axy plus 9ay squared. Now, as you can see, all three terms have in common, which is a. So we have a here, extracting common monomial factor a. The remaining factor is x squared plus 6xy plus 9y squared, in which this is a perfect square trinomial. Now, factoring this perfect square trinomial, we have x squared, that's x squared, and then 2, that's twice of x, so 2x. Now, in order to get 6xy, we need to multiply 2x by 3y. So 2 times x times 3y is 6xy. Now, this 3y will be used in our last term, 3y squared, in order to get 9y squared. Now, after getting this, we have a here, and then the first term x, so x. The last term 3y, and then plus, so x plus 3y squared, or a times x plus 3y times x plus 3y. Next, number 8, we have 3ax squared minus 6ax plus 3a. Now, in this case, our common monomial factor is 3a. Now, extracting 3a, the remaining factor now is x squared minus 2x plus 1. Now, this x squared minus 2x plus 1 is a perfect square trinomial. Factoring this perfect square trinomial, we have x squared, that's x squared, minus, because this is minus 2 times x. So x came from this first term. Now 2x, in order to get 2x, we need to multiply this by 1. Now this one will be used in our last term, 1 squared, in order to get 1. Simplifying this, we have 3a, first term is x, then minus, the last term is 1, so 1. So 3a times x minus 1 squared, or 3a times x minus 1 times x minus 1. That's the factored form of number 8. Next, number 9. Again, we need to consider the common monomial factor. Now, in this case, the common monomial factor is 5y squared. So, getting that, extracting that from the trinomial, we have 9x squared, the remaining factor, plus 6xy plus y squared. Now, this is now a perfect square trinomial. So, factoring that, we have 3x, that's 9x squared, 3x squared, plus, because this is plus, and then 2 is constant there, so 2 times 3x, now in order to get 6xy, we need to multiply 2 times 3x by y, so 2 times 3x times y is 6xy. Now this y will be used in our last term, y squared, in order to get y squared. Simplifying that, we have 5y squared, 3x, that's the first term, y is the last, and then plus, so 3x plus y squared, or 5y squared times 3x plus y times 3x plus y. That's the factored form of number 9. So last, we have 9x cubed y minus 36x squared y squared plus 36x y cubed. Now in this case, as you can see, if we start with the coefficients, so we have 9, 36, and 36. All three coefficients have a common number, which is 9. Now x cubed x squared and x. Again, the lowest exponent is 1, so we need to consider that x. Now we have y squared, and y cubed. The lowest exponent is y. So that's the common monomial factor, so 9xy. Now extracting that, we have 9x cubed y divided by 9xy. The quotient is x squared. 36x squared y squared divided by 9xy is 4xy. 36xy cubed divided by 9xy is 4y squared. Now, this trinomial is a perfect square trinomial. Now, factoring this, we have x squared, that's x squared, then 2 times x. In order to get 4xy, we need to multiply 2x by 2y. Now, this 2y will be used in our last term, again, in order to get 4y squared. Simplifying that, we have 9xy, x, then minus 2y is the last term, so x minus 2y squared, or 9xy, x minus 2y times x minus 2y.